Hey y'all, picture this: a sunny Saturday afternoon at Oak Ridge Mall in suburban Charlotte, North Carolina, and a 16-year-old kid named Aaliyah Carter's just trying to grab some tech gear for her science project, minding her own business. When boom, she's suddenly public enemy number one, handcuffed, blood dripping from her wrists, all because some lady decided she looked like trouble. Sounds like a movie, right? But this is real, and it's the kind of story that makes your blood boil, then leaves you cheering when justice rolls in like a thunderstorm. Let me take you back to that day, through Aaliyah's eyes, her mom's fire, and the chaos that turned a mall trip into a fight that changed everything. So, Aaliyah's this straight-A junior at Lincoln High, the kind of kid who's got her NASA hoodie on, hair in a perfect puff, and a notebook full of AP physics notes she's practically memorized. She's dreaming of MIT, wants to build tech that could change how we use solar power, real big brain stuff. That day, she's at Tech Trend, this fancy electronics store tucked between overpriced candle shops and smoothie bars, hunting for circuit boards and wires for her latest experiment. She's got her list, her school ID, everything organized like she's running a mission to Mars. But what she doesn't see is the store clerk, this guy named Carl, middle-aged, balding, with a scowl like he's auditioning for a Grumpy Cat reboot, trailing her like she's about to stuff a laptop in her backpack. He's straightening shelves she hasn't even touched, asking her every 2 minutes, "You actually buying something, kid?" Aaliyah, polite as ever, keeps explaining, "It's for my school project, sir," flashing her list, but Carl's not hearing it. His eyes say he's already made up his mind about her. Things go from annoying to straight-up wild when this woman, Deborah Mitchell, all decked out in designer yoga gear and a fresh blowout, starts freaking out near the phone display. "My phone's gone," she shrieks, loud enough to drown out the mall's cheesy pop music. "My $2,000 iPhone." She took it, her fingers pointing right at Aaliyah, who's just standing there, stunned, holding a $5 circuit board. Before Aaliyah can even process what's happening, the store manager, Greg Larson, swoops in, nodding at Deborah like she's just cracked a murder case. "We'll handle it, ma'am," he says, all syrupy, not even glancing at Aaliyah's side of the story. Two security guards, big guys, ex-jock vibes, named Mike and Travis, grab her arms so hard she winces, dragging her through the mall like she's a fugitive. Kids snapping selfies, families with ice cream cones, all staring as Aaliyah's marched past, her face burning, heart pounding, trying to keep it together. "There's a mistake," she says, calm but shaky. "I didn't take anything. You can check my bag." They don't. Mike just mutters into his radio, "Got another shoplifter hitting the electronics." They haul her to this tiny security office, all fluorescent lights and cheap chairs, where Officer Daniel Holt from the Charlotte PD struts in, hand on his holster like he's in a bad cop show. He doesn't even look at Aaliyah, just turns to Greg. "What's the deal?" Greg puffs up, all important. "Caught her stealing a $2,000 phone." Aaliyah tries again, voice steady. "Sir, I'm an AP student. I was buying parts for a physics project. You can call my teacher, Ms. Reynolds, to confirm." Holt barely glances her way. Yeah, heard it all before. "Empty your bag." He dumps her stuff out: notebooks, her perfect attendance certificate, a pencil case with her initials like it's trash, ignoring her school ID. No phone, obviously, but instead of slowing down, he leans in. "Where'd you stash it, huh?" Aaliyah, still holding it together, says, "I didn't take anything. Check the cameras." Deborah, hovering in the corner, snorts. She's probably got a buddy hiding it. They always do. The room lets that they hang, ugly and unchallenged. Holt pulls out handcuffs, snapping them on so tight Aaliyah gasps, blood welling up where the metal cuts in. "Too tight," she whispers, but he ignores her, smirking when she asks to call her mom. "Who's your mom? The Queen of England?" he scoffs. Aaliyah looks him dead in the eye. "My mom's Colonel Maya Carter, U.S. Army Special Operations." The room erupts in laughter, Holt loudest of all. "Sure, kid, and my uncle's Elon Musk." "Nice try." Now, let's cut to Colonel Maya Carter, who's in a secure briefing room at Fort Bragg, staring at maps of conflict zones, her face all focus, the kind of woman who commands respect just by breathing. She's a legend, first black woman in her unit, medals for valor pinned to her chest from missions she can't talk about. Her phone buzzes, and even in a room full of brass, she checks it. It's Aaliyah, calling when she should be at school. Maya's gut twists. Her kid doesn't call unless it's serious. "Excuse me, generals, family emergency," she says, voice calm but firm, and steps out. Aaliyah's voice comes through, controlled but laced with fear. "Mom, I'm at Oak Ridge Mall. They're saying I stole a phone. I'm handcuffed, and they're laughing when I told them about you." Maya's mind shifts to combat mode, every word processed, every detail locked in. "Are you hurt?" she asks sharp. "The cuffs are cutting my wrists," Aaliyah admits, pausing, "and they're making assumptions about me." "You know what?" Maya's heart clenches, but she's already moving. "I'm coming. Stay calm. Give them nothing. I'll be there in 20. She swaps her uniform for jeans and a blazer, deliberately low-key, wanting to see how these folks act when they think she's just another mom. She's on the phone as she drives, calling her CO, General Thomas Reed. "My daughter's being illegally detained at Oak Ridge. I need leave and backup." Reed, who's seen Maya stare down chaos in war zones, doesn't hesitate. "Go. Take what you need." She calls her JAG friend, Major Lee Sung-Nguyen. "Aaliyah's caught in a racial profiling mess. Meet me there with legal docs." Then to Captain Jamal Brooks, military police. "Bring a medical kit. They've got her in tight cuffs." The 18-minute drive feels like forever, Maya's mind racing not just with worry for Aaliyah, but with memories of every time she's had to teach her daughter how to survive a world that judges her skin first. At 10, Aaliyah asked, "If I'm good, why would anyone stop me?" Maya's answer, "Some people see what they're scared of, not who you are," still stings. She pulls into Oak Ridge, texts her team their meet-up spots, and strides in, all calm fury, her posture screaming authority even in civilian clothes. The security office door's unlocked. She walks in without knocking. Aaliyah's there, wrists bleeding, handcuffed to a chair. Holt's looming over her, Greg's pacing, Deborah's scrolling her phone like she's bored. Maya locks eyes with Aaliyah, silent, "I've got you," and announces, "I'm Maya Carter, Aaliyah's mother. Take those cuffs off her now." Holt barely looks up. "Ma'am, she's detained for theft. We'll handle the cuffs when we're done." His tone's all condescension, like he's used to parents backing down. Maya doesn't flinch. "Officer Holt, you've got no evidence. You've injured a minor, and you're violating protocol. Want me to quote the manual?" Holt smirks. "And you know police rules how?" Maya slides her military ID across the table. "Colonel Maya Carter, Special Operations, Fort Bragg, Level 7 clearance. Remove the cuffs, or this gets bigger than you." The room goes cold. Greg shifts. Deborah stares at her nails, and Holt's smirk fades, but he doubles down. "A fancy ID doesn't change procedure. We've got a witness." He nods at Deborah, who's suddenly very quiet. That's when the door swings open again. Major Nguyen walks in, JAG uniform crisp. "Colonel, I've spoken to Chief Alvarez. He'd like a word with Officer Holt." Captain Brooks follows, med kit in hand. "Medical team's ready, Colonel." The power shifted, and Holt knows it. Maya turns to Greg. "Your store's policy requires camera checks before detaining anyone. Have you done that?" Greg stammers, "We've got an eyewitness. No need." Maya's eyes narrow. "Ms. Mitchell, you sure Aaliyah took your phone?" Ready to swear that in court, knowing perjury's a crime. Deborah's digging in her purse when, yup, you guessed it, her stolen iPhone rings. She silences it, face red, muttering, "Must have misplaced it. Honest mistake." Maya's voice cuts like a knife. "A mistake that left my daughter bleeding and humiliated. That's your no harm done." The mall's head of security, Paul Evans, scurries in after a call from Chief Alvarez, pulling up the footage. There it is, Deborah tucking her phone in her bag, glancing around, then pointing at Aaliyah like it's a script. Paul checks Deborah's profile. She's filed 9 complaints like this in 2 years, all against certain shoppers. Nguyen's already recording. "All against people of color, you mean?" Holt's fuming. "This is out of control." But Chief Alvarez walks in, eyes hard. "Officer Holt, where's your body cam footage? And why's a minor bleeding from your cuffs?" Holt mumbles about a malfunction, but Brooks pulls up a tablet. "Records show your cam was fine this morning." The room's a pressure cooker now. Deborah's husband, a slick lawyer named Richard Mitchell, storms in. "This is harassment. We'll sue for defamation." Alvarez doesn't blink. "Your wife's on tape framing a kid. Mr. Mitchell, I'd lawyer up for her, not me." Outside, the mall's buzzing, shoppers filming, news vans pulling up, "Justice for Aaliyah" trending as her classmates spread the word. Aaliyah's still in that chair, holding it together, but her hands shake as Brooks bandages her wrists. Maya's torn. Stay and fight, or get her kid out. Aaliyah whispers. Mom, this isn't just me. We can't let it slide. Maya nods, pride mixing with pain. They head to the hospital, where Dr. Angela Price confirms the cuffs left scars. A detective takes Aaliyah's statement, and she nails every detail, quoting Holt's, "You're kind," jab like it's burned into her. Back at the mall, Nguyen's securing evidence, and Brooks catches Greg trying to wipe the store's cameras busted by a court order locking the system. The pushback hits hard. The police union paints Holt as a saint, Deborah plays victim on TV, and shady articles question Aaliyah's suspicious behavior. Maya's promotion gets delayed, and Aaliyah's science scholarships put on hold for a character review. Worst of all, they come home to racial slurs spray-painted on their door. Aaliyah falters. Mom, is this worth it? Maya kneels. They want you to think justice is too hard, that's why they do this. Aaliyah pulls out a journal she's kept since 5th grade, listing every time she's been followed, questioned, dismissed. If we stop, this keeps happening, she says, fire back in her eyes. Then the tide turns. Veterans show up at their house, cleaning the vandalism, standing guard. Aaliyah's classmates start a study group to keep her grades up. Mike, one of the security guards, slips her a thumb drive. Full footage, before they could delete it. I'm sorry, I didn't stop them. Nguyen finds Holt's emails tying him to sketchy groups, and General Reed goes public. Discrimination against military families is a national security issue. The mall fires Greg, TechTrend's corporate office launches a nationwide audit, and Chief Alvarez orders bias training. Aaliyah's school principal, who'd been dodging, finally backs her publicly, and her scholarships reinstated with extra endorsements. The courtroom's packed for the hearing. Aaliyah testifies, voice steady. I wasn't just scared. I realized some people will always see me as less, no matter what I do. Maya follows. I've fought for this country, but seeing my daughter in cuffs for nothing, that's a betrayal of everything I stand for. The footage plays, undeniable. Judge Maria Collins rules Holt suspended, no pay, pending retraining. Deborah gets probation, community service. TechTrend and Oak Ridge face a $1.5 million scholarship fund in Aaliyah's name and 5 years of court-monitored reforms. The crowd outside cheers, a mix of veterans, students, and locals, all chanting for change. A year later, Aaliyah's at that same mall, speaking at the first Carter Scholarship Awards, her MIT acceptance letter tucked in her pocket. The security office is now a youth resource center. Mike's leading anti-bias training for guards. The community's different people talk openly about profiling. Businesses post safe space signs, and kids like Aaliyah walk a little taller. Maya's heading a task force on military family rights, her promotion secured. Aaliyah tells the crowd, "This wasn't about me, it's about making sure no one's judged for how they look." Here's the thing, this story's bigger than one kid, one mall. It's about what happens when you don't back down. Aaliyah could have taken a check, stayed quiet, but she chose the harder road. So what would you do? If you were Aaliyah, would you fight, knowing the hate mail, the threats, the stares? If you were Maya, how far would you go to protect not just your kid, but every kid facing this? Drop a comment, share a time you saw or felt unfair treatment and what you did. Hit that like button if you believe one person can spark change, and subscribe for more stories that make you think, feel, and maybe even act. Share this with someone who needs to know they're not alone in fighting for what's right. Because here's the truth, change doesn't just happen. It starts with someone saying, enough.